3HL broadcasting live from Radio Row in Vegas. Big game coming up this weekend, and we're all here for it. And Aaron Taylor is here for it, former Notre Dame offensive lineman, won a Super Bowl with the Packers against the Patriots with CBS Sports. And you've got another venture, Future Fans Football, AT. What you got going, man?
Man, this is an incredible family experience in a box that rethinks how to introduce the rules and concepts of football to young kids in a fun and easy way. I've got a 7-year-old first grader daughter. I'm a girl dad, and she doesn't like football because football takes daddy away. However, this storybook-led experience, I'm reading her stories at night, and the story follows a brother and sister couple that go to a football camp, and there's parallel games that are involved that have the rules. So we read the book, we play some games, and she's becoming a sports fan, and it's a really innovative and creative way to do it. And I know that somebody else may have a young one that may be a little anti-football and is a fan of Future Fans.
That is true. See, football takes mommy away. So Baby Babs, I'm about to get Baby Babs all up on this. The game part, too, she'll love it. Now, I will say she'll actually watch football on TV, and she's 3, so she's not old enough to have the Taylor Swift tie yet. I'm assuming
we got some Swifties in the house.
Swiftie tie. Yes, that's nice.
So my daughter knows who Travis Kelce is and the team from Kansas, that's in red. But she's sitting watching the games with me, and there's a bingo game watch card in there, so she knows what a punt is. She knows what a first down is. There's a concept where you play ring toss where you have 4 beanbags and, a couple of rings, and you have 4 chances to get one of the beanbags into the ring. And if you do, you get to stand in that ring and have 4 more chances as you march down the field.
Awesome.
That's dope.
Or in our sense is you march down the hallway in the bathroom and you get to the end and you get to do the scratchy bottom hop, which ends with the arms above the head and the touchdown signal. And she has no idea how she's fallen into my trap. And it's been super fun. Her brothers play with her now, and she's becoming a sports fan in a very creative way. So if you're interested, go to futurefans.com, put in the word super for a 15% discount, or go to Amazon.com if you're looking for an innovative way to introduce the greatest sport on the planet to young kids 4 to 10.
Very well thought out, very detailed. I love it. Futurefans.com. Davenport will be there.
Yep.
What do you think about this matchup, man? I'm convinced because everybody thinks Kansas City's going to win that I'm going to go San Francisco.
Well, the contrarian pick is always the good one, and you would have been right the first 2 games. Nobody necessarily thought that they would get it. How in the world could they go on the road against Josh Allen in Buffalo and get it done? And Lamar Jackson's going to be the MVP there when they're play great defense. He's never had to go on the road to do it. Dude is 9-3 as a starter.
Isn't that crazy?
One of 10 quarterbacks in the last 50 years to have such a record. And in 2 of those losses, his offense scored 40 or more points. He threw for 350 or more yards and 4 touchdowns in 2 of those. So those weren't on him. So the dude literally is like 11-1 as an underdog. And when you look at Andy Reid, who was our tight ends coach when I was in Green Bay, that team believes in him, man. Yeah. It's one thing to get to the top. It's another to stay on top.
Right.
We were talking about Taylor Swift, and I'll admit, myself included, I was like, that distraction is costing this team until it mattered. Patrick Mahomes is a big piece of that. Travis Kelce, who's maybe in the twilight of his career, first ballot Hall of Famer, and the way he's elevated his game has become a piece of that. And he's complemented by the best defense he's had in Kansas City since he's been there.
That's the thing.
I mean,
the people aren't talking enough about.
There's no question about that. And you look at what they did to Miami, what they did to Buffalo, what they did to the Ravens. They held them to half their scoring average in the regular season. Like, if you make Patrick Mahomes score 15 points to beat you, he's going to do it. Now, I think the Super Bowl is going to be a high-scoring game in the mid-30s, but red zone and defense and turnovers will be the big factors, and Kansas City will come on top.
Now, go ahead.
I have a random question for you because you mentioned Andy Reid, so obviously he was your coach. You know him. There's people that are like, okay, look where they are now. You know what? Looking for the 3rd title in 5 years. Maybe some rumors that he's going to be done soon. Your thought on that? Like, if they win and go out, is Andy Reid done?
Ain't nobody retired on Patrick Mahomes.
Dude, I'm with you on that.
I'd fly to Kansas City and whoop his tail myself. Andy's such a good dude, and the adversity that he's gone through with his family, like the success that he's been able to have, that doesn't come without a price. And the family loves it, but you give a lot to it. And you start to get to a certain age, you start to experience things, and you have to weigh out what the cost benefit is. Everybody wants to go out on top. But they're in the rare position with what they've got with him under center. Patrick Mahomes, if he can keep this up, will be the greatest quarterback in the history of this sport. And we just saw Tom Brady shut it down, who's sitting in that King's chair right now. Now, he's got a heck of a lot to do between now and then to get it done. This is he's gone 5 times to the playoffs. Here they are in the Super Bowl, to your point.
He's only 28 years old.
And he's just starting. And he's proven that he can now do it without having an elite receiver core. Right. So this franchise is in really good shape. And I think everybody has that competitive edge, and I think that's what's going to keep Andy around. He knows what he's got. You ride that horse as long as you absolutely can.
Aaron Taylor with us on 3HL. Don't bet against Mahomes, right, Sully?
No, I was going to ask, though, how I mean, it is another team playing. Like, how would they go about trying to get this victory if you're looking at it from San Fran's point of view?
That's the key.
I love what John Lynch has done with that team. The defense was so good all season. They've gotten soft a little bit in the playoffs, and that makes you scratch your head a bit, given, up 159 rush yards per game, which is uncharacteristic of them. You got to go back to the 1966 Packers, who won the Super Bowl that year, to have another team playing in this game that was that bad against the run. And what I saw against Baltimore was Kansas City's ability to run the football. A lot of gap schemes, double teams on the play side, pulling backside guards, 10-yard run, 10-yard run, 5-yard run, pass over the top, touchdown. If San Francisco lets them run the football and doesn't earn the right to rush the passer, they're not going to win this game. So you want to stop the run, contain Patrick Mahomes. Don't let them get explosive plays. Make them earn it. They've proven they can go down and do that. But I think San Francisco, if they can keep it a low-scoring, small ball game, they'll be okay. Christian McCaffrey can help them do that. But you can't get into a shootout with Brock Purdy against Patrick Mahomes. That's what they want to avoid. If they can run the football, they'll be able to take those big shots. Brock Purdy, God bless him, he's going to get you 1 or 2 first downs with his legs and extend some drives. He's a playmaker. I'll personally be rooting for him. I was a 49er fan growing up my entire life, but my money's on Kansas City.
So is he a game manager?
That's a compliment to the people that are in this sport, because we know, football is a game of cliches, because cliches are cliches because they're true. So more games are lost than they're won. Ask Lamar Jackson about turning the football over. Ask Tua Tagovailoa about turning the football over. Ask Josh Allen about turning the football over. Not turning the football over, making plays and playing within the construct of what the offense is, wins you a hell of a lot of games if you have the supporting cast. That happens to be the case with the San Francisco 49ers, and it's why he's gone to Mr. Irrelevant, to maybe the most relevant quarterback they've had in that franchise in many, many years. It's incredible what they've been able to do, withstanding all of the moving pieces, to have a chance to be world champions here on Sunday.
AT, why do you think Brock Purdy is such a divisive sports figure? Like, you see the screaming head shows just arguing about, some people say he's Joe Montana, and some people say he's the wink link. Like, it's crazy, like, the range of opinion on him.
I think what happens in today's game and with the media is people make up their minds right away. And then they want confirmation bias. They want everything to support what it is, the stance that they took. This guy was the last guy drafted. He's no good. We need to get a good quarterback. We saw what happened when they drafted and took a chance on a guy and took him very high in the draft. He's not even on the dang roster anymore. So you want guys that know how to win. Brock Purdy's proven that he can do that. He's hungry. But I think it's hard for people to accept that they're wrong. I think it's as simple as that. They don't want to be wrong.
Why do you think that is?
Because they're human beings.
As human nature.
And human beings aren't good people. Like, it's crazy. They'd rather die on the sword with their boots on than adjust and reassess the facts, right? If we did that in medicine, we'd be in trouble. If you do that in football, you're the damn Detroit Lions. That's what got their ass beat. You honor them for dying with their boots on, but they died with their boots on. You got to ride the horse that brought you, but you got to stop to get some damn water every once in a while. Kick the field goal, Dan, and maybe your ass is in this game instead of the 49ers.
But he stayed true to himself. You're right. But, as people, you got to learn, right? Or you're standing still.
Right. Lamar Jackson, right? There's no way he's going to come into the league and be successful. Boom, Cam Newton
Yeah.
was that sort of divisive
Walking
player.
around today.
Right?
That is a big man.
Bro.
You forget how big he is till you see him in person again.
Yeah, it's huge.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, imagine trying to tackle him. You got to make a business decision.
Yeah.
You a safety coming up filling the alley? Like,
Man.
man, I don't want to tackle
Not
this
today.
guy.
Yeah.
Not
Run out of
today.
bounds,
Yeah.
Cam. Run out of bounds.
Yeah.
So we're talking quarterbacks, obviously, in Nashville. Titans fans excited about Will Levis and kind of the future moving forward with maybe a new perspective offensively with Brian Callahan as the new head coach. And our crack research guy over there, Hunk, our producer, was like, oh, Aaron went to high school with him, or the same high school, not with him, but the same high school with Brian Callahan. What do you think about the hire, and what do you know about Brian Callahan?
He's a seasoned vet in this game and has a ton of experience, and that'll help you win the ball games that you need to win. Will Levis, I don't know if I'm as high on him as maybe some are. Getting a chance to watch him in college, he's a great college quarterback. He's super tough. Can he do it consistently at an elite level to be able to turn the corner and get this franchise back to where it wants to be? I hope so. I'm doubtful on that. So I feel like there's some headwinds there, and I don't know if I'm in the minority of thinking that. But
You are in our market.
Okay.
What is
Yeah.
it about him
Yeah.
I think
you
it's
question.
gives you pause?
decision-making and consistency and doing that day in and day out. The good news is that's something you can learn.
Right.
I watched Jordan Love at Utah State in college throw the prettiest, beautiful spiral you could throw, but you just didn't know who he was going to throw it to. He seems to have fixed that a little bit and is more accurate, making better decisions, and he got San Francisco to the playoffs. So I'm not saying it's a foregone conclusion that Will Levis can't do what it is they want to do. I just say I'm a little bit bullish, especially with guys like Brian Jones breathing over my neck.
He's on
Oh,
our
yeah.
show like all the time.
Yeah.
Is that
we
Drakkar?
get him in trouble.
Is Drakkar or Old Spice?
Drakkar. You're going back on that one. Drakkar.
Well, that's an
I
interesting
love it.
take on Will Levis. I mean, and I guess time will tell,
Yeah.
right? It's hard to evaluate with what he had protecting him in front of him this past
Very
year.
hard.
So
Yeah, can you still play, man? They need
Yeah.
like a left tackle, a center, right guard.
I guarantee you could do better than
I
what
got
happened
two
this
plays
year.
left in me. If you
Two.
two. So you better use them wisely. I can help you, but in a very, 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 very small situation.
Aaron Taylor, there he is from CBS. Thank you, AT.
Future fans.
Again, futurefans.com. Check the website out. If you have kids like Davenport over there.
Yeah,
you're gonna
Baby
run
Babs
to this
is going to be
box.
all
Love
up
it.
in
I
this.
We'll be
Love it.
waiting on the basketball version too.
Oh,
Let's
there
go.
you
Well,
go.
soccer's coming out
Okay,
next,
so there
but
we
yeah,
go.
this system works
Yeah.
for any sport, and it's really creative. I think we're going to see a lot more of it moving
Love
forward.
Did you know Slay played hoops?
I did. You can tell by the body lean and just kind of the fake swag, the long baggy
telling you, man,
sweats.
This football and basketball, boy,
I
I'm
know,
telling
it's
you,
rough.
it's always like
I
this,
mean,
man.
I was an 8th grade CYO phenom. You know, I don't know if he would have been able to keep me out the paint back in the day.
It's boom, boom, room,
There he
baby.
is. It's Aaron Taylor. Again, futurefans.com. Check out the website. Thank you, AT. Good stuff, man.
Always enjoy being with you
All
guys.
right, 3HL continues from Radio Row. Thanks to our friends at Roscoe Brown and others. For more information, 1045thezone.com.